Hello and welcome to Summit 22 Launch Your Idea. I'm Svetla Staykova and I am manager and owner of Innovative Services, the host today. And I believe that each person has a unique potential. That's why I have created Launch Your Idea, the business coaching program that will help you launch your idea into a successful business. This is our target, and we will share today some tips and insights how you can do it. So let's start with why you should launch your idea. Why you should launch your idea. Because we are having a unique potential, skills, and talent that can help to improve the other people lives and our environment. And why to choose our workshop? Because I decided to combine coaching sessions with my accounting experience of more than 14 years, business planning, strategy, and road mapping of your goals and activities. So, from where you can start, you can ask yourself those questions. Do you have an idea? Is it solving a problem? What are your vision and goals? What are your dreams? What are your target market and clients? And do you have resources in order to start? If you can answer yes to those questions, then you can see how you can transfer your idea, your dream, or your vision into a business that will require a business planning, process mapping, marketing, employees and roles, partners, resources and tools, and maybe funding at certain stage of your business, and also the required skills with which you have to deliver your products or services. But everything starts from your idea. Then we will make process mapping of all your processes in order to produce your products and deliver it to the market. And also, this is applicable for your services. Why the process mapping is so important? All your business activities are connected, influence each other, and create a cash flow. We can showcase it with a watch or any other machine. Simple. All your business activities, as I said, are connected, as these wheels here on the picture. And if one of those wheels is missing, then it won't be able to move forward the other wheels in the watch, for example. And what will happen if they are not moving and moving forward? Then your watch will stop working. And the same could happen with your business. And how we can do it? For each business activity, production, or service, you need proper equipment, technologies connected and working together. Also, behind each equipment and technology, you need a person on the proper work position. As I said, what will happen if it's a watch? It won't work properly, it will show the time with delay or faster, or it might not work at all. What could happen with your business is, again, delays on delivering the goods, products, or services, or delivering on time or even faster, but with poor quality if you decide, for example, to take out the control of the quality of your products and services, or if you don't have such a process in place. Or in the worst case, your business will just be blocked and stop working. What we should include in creating our business roadmap: the sequential connection of the machines activities, the time of their execution, working positions, activities, the needed skills, time for each activity, supply chain, marketing activities, clients. And why is so important? As I said already, that each of your activities create the cash flow. For example, the production of your products or services will create an outgoing cash flow. We will have cost behind for employees, for equipment. On the other hand, the marketing team and sales teams will be responsible for ensuring the income part of your portfolio. If you have products and services, but you're not able to communicate it to your target audience and clients and sell it to them, nobody will know this. And also, if you have a great marketing team and sales team, you will be able to sell your product and services, but if they're not good enough and with poor quality, this will harm your business and activities in the long term. That's why each part of the process is very important. What else you need to know? You should create a roadmap of your goals. The roadmap of your goals has to be connected with your vision. And each goal has to be a step forward in accomplishing your main vision. The activities from your business roadmap have to ensure execution of your goals and your vision. And here is an example of how we can structure it. So on top we have our vision and our idea. You can ask yourself, what is my vision? How I can accomplish it? So So here we will define the steps which we have to take and the processes we have to make in place in order to accomplish our vision. And also, what do you need to be able to do it? Do I have all the needed equipment, resources, tools in order to deliver these services and products to the clients? Define all everyday steps, activities, and goals that will lead to your monthly and yearly goals, accomplishments that will lead to accomplish your main vision. So all these daily, weekly, yearly goals have to be connected and implemented in your daily business activities. And those activities have to make sure that you will reach that daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly goals because they will help you to accomplish your main vision. For example, if you want to make the environment greener and you want to produce, for example, uh, paper uh, cups or any from any other environmental friendly materials, you have to make sure that first you will have the tools and the equipment to produce those cups. Then you have to make sure that you have enough partners from which to buy the needed materials in order to produce those cups. And then you need a marketing and sales team in place to promote your product to the other people so they will start using it, and you will be able to help the society to go a step further in creating a greener environment. Also, why it is important to have all the processes in place is and make sure they're working and connected together as a well-built machine is to make sure that you won't have gaps in place or blocks in place inside the process. For example, if your process is not good enough and it's blocked one of your employees on one point of this process, then this employee will basically have to wait for something or permission to move forward. And like this, it will stop and block the work for the other employees to perform their work. And at the end, you might have delays in delivering the goods and the services to your clients. And here it is. What happens if something goes wrong, not according to the plan? That's why we have a risk prevention plan in place. Started to prevent or minimize the risk for your business activities, whether it's internal or external. For example, it could be an incidental event like breaking of machine, producing machine, So you should have action plan in place what you are doing in such cases. Do you have support near your place? Do you have employees that can fix these machines at place? Or you will call on an external partner that will have to come at place and fix the machine. And when you have this risk prevention plan, you save your of thinking and searching for solution at that moment when the stress is extremely high for you. And you can just act according to the plan, fast and reliable. Of course, we cannot predict all the bad events that could happen, but if we have a risk prevention plan in place for internal and external threats and risks that might happen, we will be able to act very fast and respond to those risks. For example, as an external risk to your companies could be the supply chain, because you are relying on the deliveries from different suppliers. One example uh, we can take from the last year, it's this one with a shortage of chips for the car industry, and those car producers that were flexible and able to act fast on time were able to keep the production line, while the others has to stop and wait till the availability of chips is in place again on the market. So what happens if the things goes right? For these cases, and not only, we have development plan that will include all the activities that you can take in long-term targets. So accomplish your long-term targets and develop your activities even in a new areas and release the potential of your business. So what you will receive with the workshop Launch Your Idea. This is a full coaching program, business coaching program, where you will receive a full business plan according to your needs and requirements. Understanding of each activity stage and number of your business plan. This is very important because if you don't understand what is behind the numbers in your cash flow and in your business plan, when you have a deviation, it will be very difficult to understand the reason why this is happening. But because we are working together to create your full business plan, you will be able to know and define very fast the reason for the deviation in your business plan. Because if we only treat the results of the problem of the deviation, it will last longer. You will have the same problem again and again and again till you don't define the real reason that caused this deviation in your plan. Also, you will receive a 6 months coaching support from us for the first 6 months of execution of your new business. So if you have unpredicted situations, deviation in your business plan, you will receive support from us in order to define faster the reason and make the needed updates and solve the problem at place. Thank you for your time and stay with us with the next parts of the summit. It's very interesting and I'm sure it will deliver a high value for you. Hello and welcome with our second part, personal SWOT analysis. What is this? It is defining your personal strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. It's similar to the business SWOT analysis, but we will do it for you as a person. How you can define your strengths. What are your skills? What are your talents? What are you doing effortlessly? What are you really good at? You can make a skill test that forms just to take your technical skills, for example, language skills, in order to define what is the level of your skills and in which areas you are really good at. What is your potential? What are your values? Why is it important to define your core values? This is important because all your decisions and actions will are based on your core values. Those are the values that you won't replace or exchange for anything else, for money, for success, for fame, for example. And those values decide your actions and your vision on a subconscious level. Once you define your values, you will know exactly what you want to do and how you want to do it. What are your strengths? What childhood interests or dreams did you have? Have you done something about them? Is it possible to be one of your talents? When we are children, we have many interests, we are curious about a lot of things, and we like or love to do a specific kind of things. And later on in our life, we might decide to not develop our skills in these areas because of our family advices, our parents' advices, our friends' advices, what the activities the society is promoting in order to have a successful life and a successful professional career. But today, in almost each activity and area can be transformed in a successful business. So maybe you can think of again develop your skills in those areas of interest and also expand your strengths. What part of your work you can be proud of? If they're exactly the same person in front of you, how you will describe it? What SWOT analysis would you make for that person? What would you admire in him or in her? How to define our weaknesses? Which are your weak points? What you can do about them? How you can improve them? At which point you are feeling insecure? Why you are feeling this? How you can get more practice on them in order to overcome this insecureness. What kind of mistakes you are more often doing it? What is the reason for them? What you can do about it in order to prevent doing it again. Before to continue with the opportunities, I want to share with you why it's important to define your weaknesses. It's important to know your strengths and your weakness, whether you will be an employee or a business owner, in order to know yourself very well. Because to have a business, it's not an easy job. You have to deal with a lot of challenges, stressful situations, competitions, and sometimes unfair attitude for you or to your business. So if you don't know and you haven't defined your strengths and your weakness, you might take the opinions of the others for true when this is only their opinion from their perspective. Their opinion can be based on, um, for example, their weaknesses, their strengths, the interests they have, for example, um, in order to stop your business or stop you doing what you're doing. That's why you need a clear picture of your strengths and your weaknesses. And then we can continue with the opportunities. What helps you to develop those opportunities is to never stop learning, because you can develop your potential and the opportunities related to it only by doing, performing the work and learning new things and skills in order to release it. So you can think about, what do you need in order to add more value and skills and knowledge to those you already have? Do you have interest in different fields? Are they connected somehow to the skills and knowledge you already have? What even, just a moment, even if they're not connected, can you connect or combine in your activity? What is your potential? What is your vision for your life and the life itself? What are your dreams? Threats. What do you afraid of? Can you define if and when you act due to fear? What kind of external factors can affect you? Your actions, your way of thinking, your mood, your way of work, and your self-esteem. It's very important to define those things because they will impact your activities. On a subconscious level, when we have a fear and we are dependable from the other people's opinion, our activities and actions and way of thinking that can be really very easy impacted by the other people opinions, which doesn't mean that this opinion or those opinions are right. What you can do in order to limit or minimize those influences. Make a risk prevention plan for your life. The risk prevention plan is the same that you can make for your business. It's to define the risk you might face and start acting and preparing an action plan if something goes wrong, if you face those risks. And here you can see how we can showcase our strengths, weakness, opportunities, and traits. So in the core are our strengths. Then are our weaknesses that often can limit our lives and actions. But what if we can develop strengths from the weaknesses? Then we can expand our skills, our life, our business much more. Then we have the opportunities for growth. When we are learning new things, develop our potential, develop our skills, we are able to expand our lives and our activities even further. Of course, we can't uh, develop strength from all our weaknesses. And this is the reason we have to cooperate and work with the other people. This is the reason why you need to have employees, partners in your business. And that's why they are very important for it. Also, the risk prevention plan will be like a safe shell for you when you face any external threats. How you can develop strengths from weaknesses. When we see our interests, our talents, our potential, and weaknesses in one certain area, then we can transform those weaknesses into strengths. I will give it an example. I'm curious about the new technologies. Also, I have talent to be very fast learner in this area. But my weakness when I initially start my freelancing as accountant and I wanted to have a website, for example, to present my services, attract clients, have communications with them, and also offer the part of the services online and make it digital. And my weaknesses was that I can't build websites. But because I have my interest in the same area and my talent is to learn fast in this area, it was easy for me to transfer this weakness into new strength and even opportunities. And with the available digital tools on the market, I was able to build my website for the freelancing services and also later on to build my company's website and on um, another 5 websites for my projects. And this is the way how you can transform your weaknesses by developing new skills in your area of interest and of talent as well. Thank you for your time. I hope this was interesting for you, and stay for the third part because there you will see the creative coaching session of Dan Manning and Orsolya Galantai. It's very interesting. Stay with us.
Hello. How are you? Great. Okay, great. Hello Dan, hello Orsolya. How are you? Ready? We have 3 minutes. Oh yeah. Yes. Excuse me. Okay, okay, yes. Just a moment. I will make you a host. Okay, you're a host now. Yes. Just we have to be quiet now because I will switch on the audio. Okay, everything's okay? Okay, great. And I will present you now and you can continue. Okay? The streaming is with delay, so we can start now. Okay? I'm switching on the audio. Okay. Can we? Okay, we can start. Yes, okay. Can I start introducing you? I can do it for you while you are talking. Okay. Okay. Shall we start? Okay, great.
It's honor for me having on Summit 22 launch your idea, Dan Manning and Orsolya Galantai as special guest coaches. Dan Manning is critical thinking and creativity coach. He combines his career in military problem solving with the latest scientific research to unlock the power of better critical and creative thinking. Orsolya Galantai is creative expert at Spark Institute, marketer, communicator, and innovation skill trainer. It's honor for me having
Hello, Dan. How are you? Yes. Okay, we are ready and we are streaming now. We can start? Yes. Mhm. Okay, we will make a short break and we will continue in a few seconds or minutes. Just a moment. Okay, let me check. It was perfect yesterday. I did the same. I don't know why it's not working. I can switch to the record. Because I can't fix the sound from here. The settings are the same. I did the same as yesterday, but I don't know why the sound is not good. So maybe it's... Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. Really. Okay. 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 Thank you. Bye.
Hi, welcome. I'm Dan Manning. I'm the lead instructor for Human Intelligence, and I teach people how to think. I teach people how to think better, critically, creatively, and collaboratively. And today we're going to talk for just a few minutes about how entrepreneurs need to think and the benefit of the skills that entrepreneurs get from better critical thinking and better creative thinking. When it comes down to it, entrepreneurs are full-time problem solvers. If you're thinking about your idea and how you're looking to turn your idea into a business or try to generate some additional income, you've got a problem. It's a problem that's faced every entrepreneur since the first person tried to sell anything. You have to figure out what you're going to sell and how you're going to sell it. Every day, over and over and over, until you find some system, something, some approach that's going to work so that you can sell that thing and you can build a business out of it. So essentially, your mission as an entrepreneur is this. You have to learn. You have to learn not just a little bit, you need to learn a lot. As an entrepreneur, you need to learn as much as you can, as early as you can, as fast as you can, as cheaply as you can, and then you try again, and then you repeat over and over and over, day after day. And you do this best when you start with good critical thinking, and then you move to good creative thinking. And we're going to spend a little bit of time today talking about both, and then in a few minutes, Orsolya will join, and she'll give you some ideas about better creative thinking in business as well, along with a great case study example. So let's start for a second thinking about good critical thinking. Now, critical thinking is all about how do I solve a problem? But not just any problem. I have to solve the right problem, the problem that I actually have. So there's some things that get in the way of your ability as an entrepreneur to be a good critical thinker. So let me give you a quick example. If you take a look at this picture, and I've taught this class and I've showed this picture to a couple thousand people by now. And I ask them, what do you see? And what I get from the people in the audience, most people will say, I see a frog. And I expect probably most of you see a frog as well. But then one person will say, well, wait a minute, I see a frog, but I also see a horse. And then when they say I see a horse, everyone else's mind starts to change a little bit. Other people start looking for the horse. They start looking for something that they didn't know was there in the first time. And if you don't see the horse pictures kind of turn sideways. So like the eyes of the frog are actually the nostrils of the horse. The mouth of the frog is the same as the mouth of the horse. And then these are the horse's eyes back here, and then the ears back up here as well. If you still at the end don't see the horse, send me a note and I'll send you a picture with it turned the other way so you can see it better. But we get these illusions, right? These illusions exist in our brains. So when you first see the picture and you see what you think is a frog, if we weren't having a discussion about critical thinking, you'd be happy to just turn the page and move to the next thing. But because we're having a discussion about how can I look at problems differently, we start to look at it a little bit more closely. And importantly, we also look at the problem with other people, not just our own selves and our own perceptions, but we start to combine our perceptions with the perceptions of other people. And I'll tell you, that's the secret. That's the secret. When you can start working with other people who see the problem slightly differently than you do, now you open up lots of opportunity. But entrepreneurs get trapped sometimes by bad critical thinking. They fall into these illusions, and these illusions lead us to create false beliefs. And what's even worse is we start acting on those false beliefs. We think that maybe our product is not very good, when in reality, our product is fine. It's marketing that's not very good. Or maybe we think, why would anyone not buy this thing that I created? It's amazing. It works great, but it's not a problem that other people have. Or maybe you talk about the problem in one way, but the people you're trying to sell to see the problem in a different way. And it's these false beliefs and these illusions that we create for ourselves that lead us, instead of learning, to just sticking with the same thing over and over and over. Instead of coming up with new solutions, we stay on the old solutions and we just repeat. But I'll also say, beyond just the product or just the thing that you are creating, these false beliefs also impact us as entrepreneurs. So here are a few of these false beliefs that I see with entrepreneurs and founders that I work with. I've worked with several hundred founders by this point, and these come up often. They have some reluctance to change, right? They have this idea that being an entrepreneur means just grinding it out. You come up with one idea, you believe in your idea, and you will only execute that idea no matter what. But the people who actually succeed as entrepreneurs, they know they have to learn and adapt. Other times we'll have this fear of failure, that we're afraid that if we fail at being an entrepreneur, somehow we failed at life. And that's just not true. Being an entrepreneur is hard. It's difficult. And if you know that going in, now you can start to see that failing to sell this one thing doesn't mean that you're a failure. You just have to learn. You have to adapt either the thing or adapt yourself so that you can get better. Other times entrepreneurs have this fear of risk, and they look to avoid big investments or big commitments. And that may be sometimes smart, but you have to have a good look at the risk that you're actually exposed to. Is it riskier to stay in maybe a real job working for someone else, doing something that you don't particularly enjoy? Or is it riskier to step out as an entrepreneur, to launch your new idea and to try something different? The one other one I'll talk about here is this focus on competition. Lots of times entrepreneurs are focused on how can I beat everyone else? But at this very early stage in your business, I would tell you that competition is one of the last things you should be thinking of. You need to get good at designing the product or the service that you're going to sell, good at marketing that, and then the competition will take care of itself. You have bigger things to worry about. But what happens is we start thinking in terms of competition rather than cooperation or rather than creativity, and it traps us in a place, and we just keep doing the same thing over and over, trying to beat that competition, when in reality the competition is us. But here's what happens. When you're able to be a better critical thinker, you have a better idea about what the real problem is. And you have a better idea about how you might be able to start approaching that problem. So when I talk about this with entrepreneurs and with founders, I talk about the problem space. Like the thing that you were trying to do to build a business, to launch your idea, to deliver a service, that's one big problem. And good critical thinking will help you to identify what's the unreliable information that you might have in your brain. This idea of the way that things used to be done, or this idea that maybe you can't do this thing. Or maybe you're creating a product that nobody's ever seen before, and you don't know exactly how people are going to react to that product. So you want to make sure that you're clear about those places where you don't have good information. And then you want to look at your own biases as well. The biases that say, my idea is the best idea, or that I have to do this alone. And now you want to identify those as well. And once you've identified those pieces of thinking where you are maybe not thinking as clearly as you could, or it's leading you to bad conclusions, everything else is space for creativity. Everything else is space for you to expand your mind, to expand your ideas, to expand your network, to work with other people, to start coming up to solutions to the problem you actually have, rather than the problem you just imagined you have. And this, I argue, is where learning starts. That learning starts at creation. Once you actually bring something into the world, and now you can test it against customers, you can test it against reality, you can test it against other ideas, and that's where you have the opportunity to learn. So whatever you're doing, you want to move from just imagining your idea in your business to actually creating it. Because in your imagination, there are no rules. You can imagine that you're going to have as many customers as you could ever hope for. You can imagine that your thing is going to work better than anything else. But until you actually create something, until you actually bring it into the world, you don't know how that's going to actually happen. And that's where you can start learning. So let's talk for just a second about creativity. And at its simplest place, creativity is making combinations, making new combinations. And this is one business I happened to see when I was traveling through West Virginia. It's probably not the best business, if I'll be honest. The combination of a Bible store and a tire store is a unique combination, but you'll remember them, right? You'll remember that they are the one they are. And as far as competition, they have no competition. They're the only Bible and tire store in America. But there's some other ways that are probably better examples of combination. If you think about what could you make if you combine a very small disk drive, a high-speed connection to your computer, an old-school radio, and 2001: A Space Odyssey. What would it look like if you put those together? Well, here's one example. It was the iPod. That the ideas for the iPod came from those separate ideas put together in a unique way to create a way that you could put, at the time, 1,000 songs in your pocket. And then today, that now has evolved to cell phones, and it changed the way that we work with computers, to change the way that we interact with technology. It's all combinations. Other combinations that we see are with Uber, for instance, right? Uber is a combination of a individual's car and a taxi cab. The people who created Uber, those entrepreneurs put them together in a unique way. Airbnb is the same thing. You take the idea of a bed and breakfast, the idea of a hotel, the idea of a private home, you put those together, and now you've created some new idea that is unique and has a unique place in the market. But it's not just for huge companies. This was a guy that I met on a trip to Japan, and he sold just loose green tea, but he was hilarious. I don't speak any Japanese, but all the people around me thought he was very funny. And he had this huge smile, and people were attracted to him, partially for the tea and partially for the entertainment. And he was able to create this unique place in that market where people showed up just to listen to him and hear what he was saying, and while they're there, they will buy some tea as well. So if you ask yourself today, what combinations could you make? What resources do you have available to you that you could start putting together to create something that's new, something that's different in the market, something that you can do better than maybe anyone else in the world, or maybe just better for the slim piece of market that you are pursuing? This is creativity, putting those ideas together in a unique way to create a unique outcome. And when you do that, now you start to learn. And as I said, learning is your mission. It's the entrepreneur's mission to learn as much as you can, as early as you can, as fast as you can, as cheaply as you can. Not just once, but over and over and over. And the way that you learn is like this. You start by thinking critically to shatter illusions, to think differently, to think separately from the way that you would typically think, and to make sure that you're identifying the problem that you actually have, not the problem that your brain is lying to you, telling you that you have. And now you start thinking creatively to come up with solutions to that. But the way that you do that most reliably is with other people, that you collaborate, that you collaborate with other entrepreneurs, you collaborate with people like myself and with Orsolya to come up with new ideas and to help them to see the problem in a slightly different way. And when you start seeing the problem in a different way, you've opened up opportunities, you've opened up new possibilities. I'll tell you that for me, moving from being in the military to being an entrepreneur, that I've learned so much from the other people that I've worked with, that I've learned so much from people like Orsolya and Svetla, and that we've been able to come together to create something that none of us could have created alone. And that is the promise to you, that by working together, you can change not only your own circumstance, not only create a great product and a great business, but create great relationships and create a great future for all of us. Thank you for your time and attention. And I'm looking forward to Orsolya's presentation and what she'll share with us about a unique case study and her unique approach. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. 5 years ago, me and my friend had a great idea, and we founded a startup. Thank you very much, Dan. I prepared for you to tell you something that 5 years ago, my friend and I had a great idea. We founded a startup because we really believed that it would work, and it worked. People loved it. The client loved it. Everyone loved it. Our success rate went to the moon, and we were so happy and proud of ourselves. This is the end of the story. So we lived happily after. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention some other details of this story. We were facing a lot of challenges, problems, doubts, lessons, sometimes a bit of burnout, and a lot of other obstacles that we had to solve. But we had a shelter in the time of storms. What was a really strong purpose. The purpose that we knew why we are doing what we are doing, and a strong determination that we will give up and we solve those obstacles, which were, believe me, sometimes they were very hard to come over. Also, what we had, if I thought back in the last 5 years, we had a lot of passion inside us. And I think these things, passion and a strong purpose, it's essential if you want to have a startup, because they will be your best friends on the way. There is a guy who called Adam Cambridge. He's a guy from England. As you can imagine, he really appreciates sun, because if you have ever been in England, you know that sun is not an everyday thing there, mainly rain, what you can met there. So he was obsessed of sun. First he met sun power when he was 8, and on his geography class he disassembled his pocket calculator. He has an academic background, and after his graduation he went all over the world, and he settled down in South Africa, the most sunniest place on the earth. He started to work as an engineer he was giving advices how to set up solar panels, because his background is a climate scientist. So he had a nice day there, a nice life there. Always he went on his hammock and he just enjoyed the power of the sun. But unfortunately, he has another experience, or other experiences which were not so pleasurable. He visited coal-fired power stations a lot in South Africa, and he was shocked how the impact what it's put on nature, and also people who are living in the surroundings. They were dealing, and they are dealing with serious health problems, those people who has to live around these power stations. Also, he visited mines, and he was terrified of the work conditions, how people have to work there today. Life-threatening days, lot of danger, and not good for anyone. My grandfathers, both of them, Actually, they were miners, so I heard really dramatic stories from them, how easily can be exploded these places. Also because he was an engineer and a climate scientist, he knew very well if we are burning coal in power stations, then we put half of the reason why global warming is happening. So he could just do what most of the people do, just put aside all of these disturbing thoughts and going into just somewhere else and just close out everything what he experienced and just have some cocktail and enjoying life. But he was not this guy. He was not this type of guy. He asked his creative coaches and his friends and his colleagues to have a brainstorming session where they put all together all the information what they had before. Also, before, he met Peter Diamandis Totes, who said that the world's biggest problems are the world's biggest business opportunities. And these thoughts were whispering in the back of his head. The world's biggest problems are the world's biggest business opportunities. So they put all together, all the information what they gathered together. The power station. And people all over the world, South Africa, which you remember, the most sunniest place in the world, solar farms, money, Peter Diamandis, and IT solutions, including applications. And they make connections between them. And they used the ideation method that Dan just mentioned, which we call merge. So they merged existed innovations together, solar power, so like solar farms, crowdfunding, which is the basic business idea of Kickstarter, and an existing Israeli application, a mobile application, where you can track how much your solar power, how much energy it's producing for you at the moment. And then they came up with an idea. It's called Sun Exchange. Abraham established the startup in 2017, and it's a very successful startup. The basic idea is that anyone on the world can buy solar cells, and everyone means really everyone, because $5 per each cell you can start your business, and you can have return for 20 years, and you can have 10-15% of your money what you put in. The good thing is that he solved the problem that how you can start having a solar panel on your house without putting an investment, because the people will put the investment there in advance. This is the way how they established a lot of solar farms in South Africa on the top of schools, organization, buildings, and businesses. This business model, what we call zebra companies. In zebra companies, the main idea that your aim is to make money with your business and to serve something else as well. So to give value to the society and give value to the nature. So don't give back, just give to the nature. So these two principles are hand in hand in zebra companies, making money and making good. My question is, would you be happy to work for Sun Exchange? My other question is, would you be happily tell your mother or to your grandmother if they ask that, what are you doing, my son or my daughter? Would you be happy and proud to tell them what you are working for? I would, I think. And I thought in this point, I want to make clear for you that I don't work for this company, and also I don't have any business connection with them. So it's not a sales speech. I just wanted to show you this example because this is, I think, a great model and a very inspiring example to see that it's possible to making money and solving all the shareholders and stakeholders problem, solve wicked problems basically. And I just love this idea. Where I work, just if I say, I recently became the leader of Spark Institute. We are a future studies hub, and we help leaders and experts to create a better future for themselves and for their companies. So we are giving workshops, motivational speeches, and other sorts of educational programs. But let's go back to zebra companies. So if here are zebra companies, on the other side of the scale, you can find unicorns. Unicorns were the big busters of startup world in the last 10 years. Everyone was about unicorns, how to build an exponential growth company, how to go for big venture capital investments, how to play for an exit, a liquidity exit, and this and that. And they are successful companies, of course, because they have to make huge money to make favor to their investors, because those investors, they took a huge risk to invest in them, because as we know, only 1 out of 10 are successful of these unicorn companies. So that one has to make that much profit that all the other loses. So they have to promise 10 times, 100 times, or even 1,000 times more what the investors invested them in the first time. While separate companies, they want to also grow, but in a more linear and more stable way, not like a hockey stick. If you see the revenue curve of the company, it's more like a hill. As you can see, Patagonia, Ben & Jerry, Warby Parker, and MailChimp or Jamba, who are providing workplace for people with disability, they are all zebra companies. Like every story, we have to say 4 questions. We have to answer 4 questions: what zebra companies are doing, why they are doing, how they are doing, who are involved in those businesses, and what exactly they are doing. On workshops, when we are when I'm helping, or we are helping with them startups to establish their company and have a business idea which are serving 2 goals, money and good, then we go through of these questions like a business model canvas framework. We go through all of these questions. So the purpose, what's your purpose? Just to have a huge and fast growth, or you want to have a company which lasts for years or decades and give you and to your society extra value? What's the end game of your company? You just want to quit fast, or you want to have a win-win situation when your investors, again, your surroundings, and you have a good business? The how question, it's you have to see that what's your method. You want to create a situation when you are in symbiosis, if I can use this word from nature, when you are symbiosis with your partners, with your shareholders, with your users, and with everyone. Or you want to create a situation when there are winners and losers. Just an example, like Facebook is a unicorn. They using users just for free to create content to their platform, and no one got any check or any income for creating content to that platform. If we users wouldn't do anything, then Facebook couldn't exist. Still, we don't get any share for the profit of that company. It's the same with Uber. They also do the same with their driver. Now, I don't want to go into details, but if you follow me on Facebook, I will share an interesting story about Uber. So this is about the DNA of the unicorn, of the zebra. The question here, what I think, and I suggest you to answer from yourself, that what is the passion, what you really could live for years? Because if you start a startup, you start an entrepreneurship, you will work on that project for years, for 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 years. So it's really make a difference. What is your purpose? And zebra companies are a very good example. We can learn from them, and we can inspire. We can be inspired from them. And just keep in mind Peter Diamandis' words. The world's biggest problems are the world's biggest business opportunities. Thank you.
Third part, make your challenges profitable. How? We will see now. We all are facing problems and challenges. Most of them we haven't planned or we didn't want it. So then why not make a profit from it? If we have to lose time in order to solve our challenges and the problems we are having, why not to make a profit from it and make them work for us? Do you think it's impossible? Actually it is. And what stays between the impossible and possible is your brain, your potential, and your talent. If you have to lose your time solving a problem, then make it work for you and be rewarded for it by saving the time of the others when they face it as well. How? Instead of focusing on the problem, we can focus on the solution. If we focus on the problem, we will be frustrated, we can be depressed. But if we focus on the solutions, this will give us energy and will feel empowered to act and solve our problem. When we find the solution of our problem, we can use it to help the others solve their problem as well. So the solution should be able to be used or applied by the others as well. And this is the formula. We need a challenge or a problem. Then we need to know our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and traits. We can define them with the personal SWOT analysis. And then we need our creativity. And by the research of NASA, actually research made for NASA, at the age between 4 and 5 years old, 98% of the people are creative geniuses. But because we are not promoting our creativity and not developing it, at the age of 31 years old, only 2% of the people remain creative geniuses. But you always can wake up your creativity by the simple act of daydreaming and using your imagination. So when we have those three elements in place, a challenge, a problem that we can solve, our personal SWOT analysis that will know our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and traits, and when we add our creativity, then we can find a solution that can be applied for the others as well. And this is how we can make our challenges profitable and turn it into a business. What is a personal SWOT analysis? If you missed the part 2 of our summit, it is defining your personal strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and traits. And let's take some examples and learn from the history. For example, at first, there were companies delivering ice from the mountain. Then the first factory for ice were built. And later on, the refrigerators were invented. And what happened with those companies that weren't able to adapt to the changes, that the companies that didn't want to innovate, to release their potential, to use their creativity, is that they were actually out of the business in stage 1, 2, and 3. And the moral of the story: we always face different challenges, and what we can do to lead, be relevant, and adapt is by never stop learning, updating, developing, and innovating in our activities. This person here was abused, had experienced a toxic working environment, was trolled, was threatened. They told brazen lies behind her back. They tried to hack her websites and stop her. And yes, this is me. But what this person did start building my company and social network, enlarge core activities, learn new skills, and transfer the challenges into projects that not only solve my problems, but help others to do that as well. And here are some examples. One of the challenges was that automated processes in accounting will replace the need of bookkeeping. But I saw the opportunity in this, which was that this will give me more time for more meaningful activities. Then I asked myself, what would be that activity that would add value to my clients? And this is how the business coaching programs were born. They combine the coaching techniques with my accounting and financial experience in order to deliver a better value and higher value to my clients and help them solve their challenges in their business. Thanks to the available digital resources, I have made an online platform where the workflow with clients is digitalized and automated. So instead of being victim of the new coming digital tools, I decide to work with them in order to deliver a higher value for my clients. Another example. During the pandemic, my daughter wanted a social media account in order to stay in touch with her friends, but she was only 9 years old. There was no social media platform for kids, and in the existing platforms, it was dangerous for kids because the content is not for kids and because of the possible scam activities on those social platforms. So I saw opportunity in this, that I can make a platform for my child the way I wanted it for her. And this is how Kiddo Zone was born. It combined many activities. First of it is social media, where children can communicate together, exchange photos, videos, and learn more about the other countries and the children from other countries. But at the same time, I wanted this platform to promote curiosity to the science, development of their critical thinking, their creativity, love to the arts, music, and the books. That's why I have created a sections with challenges for them. Every week there is a new challenge that help them develop their creativity, their writing, reading skills, their curiosity to the science, and also develop their art skills and the love to art. But also I decide to give opportunities to all other people, teachers, writers, musicians, painters, to be able to present their video courses, their books, for example, on this platform. And they will be able to keep 80% from the sales. And this is how I have created a project as Zebra Business without even knowing at that time that this model is called that way. So we can take our challenges and convert it into profitable business by and deliver value to all the societies and users and partners by solving this problem not only for us but for the other as well, and delivering this solution, making accessible for as many people, as many partners as possible, and creating a win-win situation for each one of us. If I can do it, you can as well. What challenges do you have, and how you can solve it and convert it into a business that will deliver this solution to as many people as possible. If you have questions, you can write them down in the comment section on YouTube or in the contact form on the website. If we can't answer now during the summit, we will definitely send you an answer later. Thank you for your time and stay with us. In order to receive more news, follow our webpage, follow Dan Manning and Orsolya Galantai in order to receive more tips and insights of our work. If you like what you already see and you want to work with us, you can fill the form on the website and order our workshop. We will contact you next week. Thank you and see you next year on the summit.